Look at this, you poor stalker. My ex-girlfriend, with whom I just broke up yesterday, grabs a glass and swings it over my head. I get drenched in wine from head to toe during what was supposed to be a fancy dinner with her at an upscale restaurant. But there, right in front of my eyes, another man is asking her out. She cheated on me. She calls me a stalker and splashes the wine on me. Drenched in wine, looking terrible. Suits a stalker like you. She laughed loudly while overlooking me. However, she didn't know yet. This incident would lead to her downfall. And my true identity as well. What, really? This isn't a dream, right? Her eyes widened in surprise, and I said, "It's true." I laughed. Then, I gently take her left hand. As she put the ring on her left ring finger, her eyes filled with tears of joy. "I'm so happy. I love you, Jake." I'm Jake, 27 years old, grinning to myself while being lost in my fantasy. I'm a simple computer programmer working at an IT company in a big city. Still dreaming, Jake. It's morning already. Ouch. My senior nudges my head, bringing me back to reality. Right, I'm at work. Seeing me suddenly laugh, my colleagues seem a bit taken aback. Sorry. Back to work. Back to work. You've been pretty cheerful lately. Don't get too carried away, alright? No, of course not. I'll work hard and stay focused. That's good. Keep it up, all the way to the end. Yes, sir. I straighten my back in my chair upon receiving firm yet kind words from my senior. Right, this is not the time to be daydreaming, but it's hard not to get carried away. Tomorrow night, I'm planning to propose to my girlfriend. Her name is Emily. We were classmates in college, and it all started through a mutual friend. We were classmates in college, and our mutual friend introduced her to me. Back then, I was a serious mobile phone gamer, and my friend introduced me to Emily, who was also playing the same game. Emily wasn't exactly what you'd call a beauty or sweet in the traditional sense, but I was drawn to her bright and kind personality, and above all, her smile. So, I took the initiative and asked her out, and that's how our relationship began. Then, Emily began to show some changes in her usual self. I'm thinking, why not apply for the TV station's recruitment exam? She said to me hesitantly. According to Emily, she has been dreaming of being a news anchor since her childhood. However, she convinced herself not to pursue her childhood dream because she isn't confident in her beauty. I encouraged her wholeheartedly. You can be a news anchor. You have a pleasant voice, Emily. I'm sure you'll be accepted. Sure. Be confident. After all, you've become really beautiful lately. It wasn't just me who thought so. Honestly, she used to have a farm girl look, but she made a drastic change just recently. She had become a sophisticated college student, more of an uptown girl. So much so that she was even approached to participate in beauty pageants. Do you think if I become a news anchor, I'd match with you, Jake? What? I want to be your girlfriend whom everyone will think makes you happy. I've worked really hard on myself. I'll keep it up. Let's get married. What? Overwhelmed with love, I once publicly proposed to her in our college cafeteria. She turned me down, but my feelings haven't changed at all until now. I want to spend my life with my beloved Emily, no matter what the future holds. But I guess we didn't have the mutual mindset. Jake, let's end this. We were at a cafe near our office, a quiet place we often use for meetings. During the lunch break, Emily asked me at the aforementioned cafe. By the way, she achieved her dream job as a news anchor and is now working for a major network. End of service. Oh, you mean the online game we've been playing? I haven't logged in recently, have I? If you're bored with it, don't play dumb. You know what I'm talking about. I somehow expected the reason why she wanted to talk to me when I received a call. Obviously, it wasn't her usual way of conversation when she talks about a game, and I knew what she was about to say. I want to end our relationship, want to end things with you, Jake. Why? That's all I could manage to say. Why could this happen? We made plans to dine together tomorrow. I reserved a table at a fancy restaurant, and I was supposed to propose after dinner. Why now, of all times? That's all. Goodbye. Emily, more sophisticated and beautiful than ever as a news anchor, cruelly announced our breakup. She walked out of the cafe as leaving me stunned. That night, I cried alone in my apartment. Why, Emily, why? Is she fed up with me because I'm approaching 30 yet I'm still hooked on an online game? Was she disappointed with me, always making excuses for keeping my apartment so messy? Or had she simply fallen out of love with me? The more I thought about it, the more reasons I could imagine, yet none of them seemed quite right. Fine, I'll just drown my sorrows in alcohol. Can't sleep anyway, might as well drink till morning. I don't usually drink, but I decide to buy a ton of beer. Just as I'm about to open the door, someone opened it. What the? Hello there, may I come in? Gee, your room stinks. You don't clean your room, do you? Complaining about the smell and mess, this person strides into my apartment and settles down in the living room. Tomorrow's a big day. You will propose marriage, right? So, today's your last day being a bachelor. Let's drink. Darn, she is definitely insensitive, being clumsy. Moreover, the worst timing. Such an empathetic behavior emotionally dragged me down, and I could hardly hold back my tears. I found myself sobbing. Huh? Why? What's wrong? You haven't even proposed yet, have you? Are you okay? I must look horrible if even an insensitive person like her is seriously concerned about me. She has always been a carefree person, doing whatever she wants without thinking of others. But she possesses an exceptional sixth sense, and is always there for me whenever I wish she would help. This is my childhood friend, Sarah. As usual with you, huh? Is this your intuition kicking in again? Huh? What are you talking about? Do you have a premonition that I got dumped? It's been a while since you came over. Not since I was sick with a cold 6 months ago. Back then, I was very sick, so I couldn't even have the energy to contact Emily. But Sarah just barged in like today. Though Sarah stayed with me, she didn't take care of me. Not really. I'm here to celebrate your marriage proposal. Wait, you got dumped, Jake. Sarah freezes for a moment and then bursts into loud laughter. No way, you got dumped the day before proposing her marriage. Talk about bad timing. It's not funny, I'm really upset. So, why did she dump you? How would I know? It was all so sudden. Talking about it just makes me feel worse. We've been busy and missing each other lately. But still, I guess I need to cancel the restaurant reservation. Restaurant? Yeah, had a reservation for tomorrow. I have booked a special, expensive course for the proposal, costing about $2,000 for both of us. I'm afraid that the restaurant will charge me 100% cancellation fee. I'll go with you. What? To that restaurant? Don't you dare cancel the reservation. But I mean, if. How come I would be having a dinner with Sarah, not Emily? Sarah is not a woman who will appreciate such a fancy romantic dinner setting. Also, seems a bit unconventional. Moreover, there's a problem with Sarah. Do you know what a dress code is? Duh, of course. Don't ask me such a stupid question. This restaurant has a smart casual dress code in place. You can get in dressed like that. Sarah always dresses the same way. Choosing clothes is a waste of time, she says. So her everyday outfit is t-shirts and jeans regardless of the occasion. Her hair is usually tied back in a simple ponytail, devoid of any adornments. She never wears makeup unless doing so is absolutely necessary. Heck, I have no choice. I'll cancel my booking. Don't decide that on your own. We can figure something out. Figure something out, like what? Just watch me. With a mischievous grin, Sarah seems to have an idea. She stood up swiftly and headed toward the entrance. See you tomorrow, then. Yeah. No time to respond. She closed a door with a bang. She's like a whirlwind, as always. As I listened to the fading sound of her sneakers, I let out a sigh. By this time, my heavy sadness is gradually lifting. Phew, much better. It's a bit hard to admit that I owe to Sarah, but it seems I won't need to drown my sorrows in alcohol after all. I thank her tomorrow anyway. I prayed. Sarah will appear at the restaurant appropriately dressed, and to make my prayer to be granted, I start cleaning my apartment. At the end of the day, my apartment transformed to a sparkling clean place, and I had a good night's sleep until morning. On the next evening, Sarah appeared at the restaurant on time. I was speechless seeing Sarah. How about this? Can I get in now? Excuse me. Are you Sarah? Duh. Damn Jake, what's going on here? This habit of giving a strong nudge itself, telling me that she is indeed Sarah. Tonight, she looks completely different from how she appeared last night. Her everyday simple ponytail is now curled and adorned with a hair accessory. She's wearing a fluffy white dress and high heels. In the makeup, that's the most drastic change. Why are you staring at me? Is something on my face? No, it's just. I quickly look away, not because she's glaring at me, but because I can't bear to look any longer. My heart is racing too fast, and she looks stunning. I never thought I'd use such words for Sarah. Life is full of surprises. I've seen her with makeup before, but today she looks amazing and very attractive, almost as if she's going on a date. You're too gorgeous. Don't you feel embarrassed if someone recognizes you? I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. What are the things I hate? Waste, loss, and being late. I get it. Stop pulling my collar. She almost dragged me to the restaurant. Good. It's the same old Sarah. Relieved, my heart finally settles down. When I reached my reserved table, another heart-stopping surprise awaited me. Emily. As I was led to my reserved window-facing table, I was stunned. I couldn't believe what I found. My ex-girlfriend Emily was there at the window-facing table, and right across her. Emily, this represents my feelings for you. Please accept it, along with this beautiful nightscape. A tanned, handsome man, perhaps older than us, with neatly groomed facial hair, was unboxing and showed a piece of jewelry to her. While I witnessed such a shocking moment, I began to feel some terrible premonition. Whoa, Michael, is this? Even though Emily was covering her mouth, I could hear her whisper distinctly. The moment Michael, as he was called, took out a ring and slipped it onto Emily's finger, I stood up impulsively. Emily. Startled, she turned towards my voice. Ignoring her reaction, I strode towards her. What's this about? You dumped me yesterday and accepting his proposal on the next day. Jake, why are you here? That's what I should be asking you. I was the one supposed to be proposing her and giving her a ring. I didn't understand why it happened today, at this restaurant, and at the table right next to ours. The irony of the situation fueled my anger. Emily, have you been cheating on me? You dumped me because this guy would propose you marriage, aren't you? Emily, what's going on? Who is he? Well, answer me, Emily. Emily. Caught between me and Michael. Emily face-palmed, seemingly overwhelmed. When she finally lifted her face, she had a resolute look and pointed straight at me. He's a stalker. What? What are you talking about? I was dumbfounded, and Michael looked bewildered. Emily didn't bother to look at us, and with a glassy look in her eyes, she started to utter an unbelievable tale. Jake is my ex-boyfriend, and we broke up a long time ago. Since then, he has been incessantly asking for reconciliation, bombarding me with countless messages, and, to make matters worse, even waiting for me in front of the DV station. The recent incident was that he even came to my house, making me scared to the bone. And so on. Of course, all are fabricated stories of Emily. Jake, please stop. We've been over for a long time. She cried out and covered her face, portraying herself as a tragic heroine harassed by a stalker. Naturally, the man who had just proposed to her was furious. How dare you do this to Emily? Have you no shame showing up here? Wait, please. It's not true. She's lying. There's no way she would lie. I was vehemently trying to defend myself, but my words fell on deaf ears as Michael, fueled by rage, yelled at me from up close. Meanwhile, Emily smirked behind his back. It's okay, Michael. It's my fault. I led him on. Led him on. I wasn't being serious about our relationship at all. It's my fault. Although I knew he's inexperienced with women, allowed Jake to think I loved him. Emily grinned slyly, hiding behind Michael, revealing that she was my first girlfriend. My past relationship is irrelevant now. Oops. Seems to be you don't exactly understand the situation. Maybe it because you lack of skill in handling women. Michael nods in agreement with Emily. I realized then that I was being looked down upon. But it was too late. What does he do? He's a programmer. Always been into computers and being a serious gamer since college. He is immature and lacking interest in conversations. Just what you'd expect from a geek. You probably spends your weekends holed up at home. Why don't you try go surfing like me? Oops, sorry. No time for you, go to the beach, I guess. Emily continued. It would be too harsh to criticize Jake given his challenging situation of working overtime for a low income. Emily and Michael shared a mocking smile at my expense. That's the moment when, who remained silent, stepped forward. Are you done, Jake? Sarah, I'm starving. Stop wasting time on this drama queen. It's pointless. What? Emily responded sharply to Sarah's dismissive remark. Who are you calling a drama queen? You, obviously. I felt a chill down my spine. This is bad. Sarah, who is starving, is in a foul mood. Sarah, listen. A blind fool who can see a person's worth. Good thing you dumped Jake. He's too good for someone like you. What? Who do you think you are, you nobody? Emily, calm down. Everyone's watching. Michael tried to intervene, but Emily and Sarah continued their heated argument. The commotion attracted the staff, who finally approached us. Then it happened. This low-life trash. Emily grabbed a glass and swung it at Sarah. In a split second, I jumped in front of Sarah. Jake. As Sarah cried out, a splash of liquid drenched my head. The smell of alcohol and a sweet, sour fragrance filled my nose. It was only when my shirt turned red that I realized it was wine. Are you okay, Sarah? Yeah. As I drenched in wine and turned to Sarah, she was having facial expression which I hadn't seen before. She was at a loss, a mix of confusion, and appeared to be on the verge of tears. What a mess. Perfect for a low-profile man like you, right, Michael? Emily didn't stop mocking me and laughing at me. Michael agreed with her and began laughing at me as well. Then, Sarah pushed me aside and stepped forward to Emily once again, saying something that left Emily astonished. Jake isn't poor. Excuse me. That's what I'm saying. Your vision is flawed. What are you talking about? Emily scoffed, looking up at Michael, but Michael's eyes were fixed on Sarah. Lure. Sarah, the CEO. What? Emily stood there, stunned, as Michael began to tremble, and then bowed deeply towards Sarah. I'm very grateful for your support. I'm Michael from Candy TV. What's going on, Michael? This woman is a CEO. Idiot. Show some respect. You're a news anchor, and you don't know this. Michael, still nodding in acknowledgement, scolded Emily. The sudden change in her partner's attitude left Emily exclaiming in disbelief. Who is a director allegedly playing with fire with one of their news anchors? Geez. She just got a look. I don't care who she is. No, I'm telling you. She's Sarah, the CEO. She's the one making big waves right now. Sarah. You mean Sarah, as in? Initially, Emily's eyes were wide in disbelief, but gradually, she started to tilt her head. Repeating Sarah's name, Emily suddenly widened her eyes, as if realizing something significant, and covered her mouth. Sarah, the CEO. Indeed. Thank you for coming in for an interview at our company, Emily, the news anchor. Sarah replied with a deliberately polite tone, smiling, which only made Emily's face turn even paler. Sarah, the CEO. That's what Michael is telling you. Are your ears as bad as your eyes? But you look more beautiful than usual. No, I mean, you always look beautiful. You are such a suck-up. This is why I hate makeup. Clearly annoyed, Sarah took off her false eyelashes and roughly wiped her eyelids and lips with a napkin, causing Emily to lose all color in her face. Michael, the director at Emily's TV station, exclaimed, I knew it. Sarah had grown a globally recognized major IT company in just 5 years. Although I know about her achievements since the company's startup, there are times when I find it hard to believe in her success. But Sarah's talent is undeniable, especially her ability to discern people's true nature. Didn't I mention in the interview? I have a childhood friend who has supported me from the start of my entrepreneurial journey. Sarah explained to a baffled Emily about the early days of her company, when it faced near bankruptcy due to financial difficulties. Her childhood friend was the only one who never left her, providing unwavering emotional support, and constantly encouraging her with words like, don't give up. You can handle this. She owes the company's success to this friend. It's me. As soon as Sarah revealed this, Emily looked at me in shock. No way. And Jake is one of our company's top executive. He's not poor. What? Emily's eyes widened even further in surprise. I corrected her. I haven't assumed the post officially yet. I have been persuaded by Sarah for about 3 years. I finally decided to join her company only recently, right before Emily dumped me. Why didn't you tell me such an important thing? I was planning to tell you along with the marriage proposal. I couldn't have imagined I would get dumped the day before. Checks. Further, I bought shares in Sarah's company when it was first established. Back then, it constituted a significant portion of my modest salary, but as the company grew rapidly, the value of the shares shot up. Now, my stocks are worth about $1 million. Upon learning the facts, Emily seemed to almost faint. She could no longer stand and sat on the floor. A board of directors. $1 million. She repeated these words like a mantra, and Sarah delivered the final blow. I didn't appoint Jake out of obligation or to show my sincere gratitude. The decision was made because he possesses skills and abilities worthy of the position. Emily, you were with Jake since college, right? Then you must have known that he was recognized for his programming skills and was already involved in app development back then. If you were the closest person to him, you would have known his talents and what kind of person he is. Letting go of someone so valuable really shows how poor your judgment is. Get it? Suddenly, a cheer erupted from around us. Way to go. So cool. It's like a drama. The other diners are praising Sarah and sending supportive cheers my way as well. We have become the center of attention in the restaurant. What's with this atmosphere? Emily, cover your face. Someone might take a photo of this incident. That's bad. Both Emily and Michael realized they were on the losing end and began to worry. Then, a man who appeared to be the restaurant manager approached them. Excuse me, ma'am and sir. I'm terribly sorry, but I must ask you to leave. What? Why us? They should be the ones. Please, leave now. The restaurant manager silenced Emily with a stern tone. A couple of staff members escorted Emily and Michael to the exit. I won't forgive this. You haven't heard the last from me. Emily spat these parting words as she disappeared from sight. Sarah then muttered softly, the manager is precise. Kicking them out is the best decision for the sake of diners. Smart move. Oh, I knew that I needed to change topic right now because that man might end up being poached by Sarah for our company. Let's get out of here too, Sarah. We've caused enough commotion, and I'm covered in wine. I don't mind at all though. Just come on. I apologized to the guests. I gently pushed Sarah towards the exit. That's when a young female staff member hurried after us. Wait, please. She conveyed a message from the manager. We would be honored if you could visit us again on another day. We'll make sure to reserve a table for you. Then, she said to Sarah, I've been a fan of you for a long time. You were so cool today. She shyly asked for Sarah's autograph. Sarah, blushing as well, obliged. Seeing this, I couldn't help but find her lovely. On our way back, my mind was elsewhere, still replaying the events at the restaurant. Never did I imagine I'd find Sarah lovely. Hey, are you listening, Jake? Suddenly, she leaned in close, making my heart skip a beat. Her face was a bit of a mess from hastily removing her makeup. But even then, I thought, today, Sarah looks beautiful. What? Startled by my spontaneous remark, Sarah stopped, and her face turned bright red. Then, she said something completely unexpected. Does that mean you like me? What? Don't you? You just said something so serious out of the blue. I wasn't even aware of how serious my expression was. Honestly, Sarah has never lied to me. She takes my words at face value. I was shocked by what I had just said and couldn't move. But the very next moment, Sarah shocked me even more. I like you. What? I like you, Jake. That's why I tried so hard today. GRR. I didn't plan on saying this. Sarah, you said you like me. You don't have to answer right away. Just take your time and think about it. After saying this, Sarah hurried away in her heels, leaving me motionless for quite a while. I couldn't focus on anything the following week because my mind was blank and I felt like I was dreaming. Eventually, I resigned from my job and started a new career as one of the top executives at Sarah's company. Neither of us ever spoke about her confession, and I continued supporting her as a professional partner. However, people around us viewed our relationship differently. Some people were saying unnecessary things today, asking if the president and Jake are dating. That's Certainly unnecessary. Absolutely. Mind your own business. Though she verbally dismissed rumors, Sarah's face turned slightly red. A top executive. $1 million. Probably both of us are having flushed cheeks. As I don't have the courage to see her directly, I turned away slightly and made a suggestion. How about we grab something to eat after this? There was a brief pause before Sarah quietly responded, "Okay." Her response delighted me, and I began to seriously consider my answer to her. The idea of becoming partners in both our professional and personal lives doesn't seem so bad. But just as these thoughts were settling in, Emily reappeared in my life. "Long time no see, Jake. How have you been?" She greeted me with a smile in a cafe, as if nothing had happened between us. I felt uneasy, especially since she had called me to the same place where we had our breakup tack. "You said you wanted to talk about Sarah. What is it?" "I broke up with that guy," she declared nonchalantly. "What?" My irritation was evident. Her reply didn't really answer my concern. "And now, I want to patch things up and give the relationship another try," she said casually. "Patch things up? You heard it right. Sounds great, doesn't it?" Unexpectedly, Emily held my hand, and a chill ran down my spine. I quickly shook her hand off, but she didn't mind and continued to utter her self-centered reasoning. "We were together for 7 years. It's no big deal, right? It was just a little quarrel. You're not in a relationship right now, are you? It's perfect timing. I can't be with anyone but you, Jake." I felt sick to my stomach. I don't understand her. Is she not ashamed of herself? How could she say such embarrassing words? My mind is set already. "Sorry, but I'm in love with someone else." I plan to confess to her. "I can get back with you." Simultaneously, Emily's expression changed drastically to a stern look. "Are you sure? You're really saying no to me? Huh? Don't you forget. I work for the major TV station and have many connections in the media." "What do you mean?" I dared to ask despite the uneasy feeling growing inside me. Then, Emily started to lay out her threat, with a smile that didn't match her words. "I can leak a story to a tabloid. The top executive of a major IT company was caught in a love triangle, juggling relationships with 2 girlfriends. Ultimately, he ended the affair by breaking up with a news anchor." "Are you serious?" "Yes, I am. I'll tell them you took advantage of me, demanded expensive gifts and dining, didn't care how much I spent on you, and then you dumped me. It's quite gossipy, isn't it? I'm sure it will be a hot issue." "Emily, how dare you?" I stood up abruptly, but Emily just looked at me with a smug smile, asking, "What do you do?" She continued, "I withheld the identity of a news anchor, but I'll make sure your company name gets published. Moreover, unless we get back together, I'll keep spreading bad rumors. Worse, don't you think Sarah will get involved in this gossip?" "Sarah's irrelevant. But if anything happens to her because of this, I swear I won't forgive you. It's all up to you, Jake. So, what will it be?" That is. Overwhelmed, I grappled with the situation, and finally decided to call Sarah. "Can you go to a place where I tell you now?" I said over the phone. Calling the CEO out. "You've got guts, Jake." Exactly 10 minutes later, Sarah appeared at the cafe. As soon as she found us, she stopped dead in her tracks. "What brought you here?" "Exactly as you see. I've decided to get back together with Emily." Sarah froze at my emotionless response. Emily wrapped her arm around my shoulder, and we sat closely together on the sofa. "What are you talking about? You were so upset about being dumped." "It was a misunderstanding. It's cleared up now, so we're giving it another go." "Aren't you forgetting how she humiliated you at the restaurant?" "She apologized. So, I thought it's okay now." "It's not okay." Sarah's voice trembled, and her face showed deep anguish. I couldn't bear to look at her and hung my head down. But Emily whispered, "Look at her," prompting me to raise my eyes. "So, that's how it is. I'm sorry about the other day. I can't accept that." "Explain properly." Sarah demanded a clear explanation, pressing closer. Under the table, Emily nudged my leg, signaling me to be explicit. Reluctantly, I said something I never thought I would. "I don't see you as a woman, Sarah." "What?" "You're too harsh, clumsy, and you don't care about your appearance. That's why I feel nothing when you said you like me." Upon listening to my words, all the emotion disappeared from Sarah's face. I see. Please give up on him, President Sarah. Fine, Emily said with a triumphant smirk, hugging me tightly. Sarah, upon seeing this, showed a fleeting glimpse of sadness before turning her back on us. Get back soon. The lunch break is almost over, she said coolly. Yes, President. I no longer had the right to call her Sarah. My heart aches. Emily began to flaunt our reunion to Sarah in a blatant manner. She intentionally called me multiple times during office hours or waited me at the company entrance at closing time. We're going on a date now, right, Jake? Yes, so can you please don't call me unless it's an emergency? Understood. Whether Sarah realized I was being coerced or not, she never showed any sign. She just walked away silently, her indifference cutting deeper than any concern. Despite having heard her myself, the pain in my heart was unbearable. During these hellish months, I received a call from that restaurant. It's delicious, isn't it, President? I asked. Yes. I tried to break the awkward silence as Sarah quietly ate her meal. My appetite was gone, but I forced myself to eat, trying to dispel the awkward atmosphere. A week before, after being together with Emily, I reached out to Sarah for the first time. Would you like to join me for dinner? I asked. There's something I want to talk about. I was prepared for her to confront me, but she simply replied, okay, and showed up looking impeccably dressed, as she had before. She was still stunning. Throughout the meal in the private room arranged by the restaurant, I found myself constantly captivated by her. Her beauty went beyond mere appearances. Despite her typically rough and casual demeanor, there was an unexpected elegance in her movements, especially when using utensils. Surprisingly, she knew how to use chopsticks and was able to eat without making a mess. Additionally, her handwriting is nice, and she meticulously chooses words when dealing with business associates. All these facets of Sarah I found myself deeply attracted to. What did you want to talk about? Sarah's sudden question broke the silence. You had something to say, that is. I hesitated, painfully aware of my feelings for her. My planned words were to tell her I was leaving the company to prevent any harm to her or the business. But now, realizing my true feelings, I found it impossible to leave her. Thank you. For what? For being there for me. The day before I was supposed to propose to Emily, and she broke up with me, was the worst day of my life. I was in so much pain, but the shock didn't last as long as I expected. The next day was even worse, seeing her getting proposed to by another man. But still, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Do you know why? It was because you were there for me, Sarah. I paused, looking directly at her. Whenever I was suffering, it was always Sarah who was there for me, not Emily or anyone else. That's why I want to say thank you, Sarah. After getting back together with Emily and distancing myself from Sarah, I realized something important. How crucial Sarah was in my life and how much she had saved me. Despite being constantly tossed around by her, I enjoyed it and I want to return to those times. Sarah, I'm sorry. Actually, I need to tell you. I was about to reveal that Emily had threatened me and forced me back into a relationship with her. But Sarah, cutting me off, looked straight at me with calm eyes. I'm thinking of going to France. What? I won't be back for a while. I'm leaving the company in your hands, Jake. Sarah. It's not because I'm fed up with Emily's harassment. I want to set up a branch there. That's why I'm going. And don't misunderstand. It's not because I'm heartbroken over you. Sarah. In a sudden impulse, I knocked over the chair and rushed towards Sarah. She was crying, perhaps without even realizing it until that moment. Instinctively, I embraced her. I'm sorry. I just wanted to protect you, but instead, I ended up not protecting you at all. I'm so sorry. I apologized repeatedly while holding her close. Through her sobs, Sarah managed to say, I know. How many years do you think I've been by your side as your childhood friend? I know, but I can't stand to see you with another woman, Jake. Sarah, I exclaimed, feeling like a complete fool. How had I not seen that someone who cared for me so deeply was right beside me all along? Thinking that enduring everything alone was the right thing to do had only hurt her more. I'm sorry. I won't keep things to myself anymore. I want us to face everything together from now on. The one I love is you, Sarah. Jake. Sarah lifted her tear-stained face to look at me. Just then, the private room's door was timidly knocked. "Excuse me." The same waitress who had previously expressed her admiration for Sarah. She apparently came to serve our next dish, but seemed to get chilled upon seeing the state of the room. The chair knocked over, her admired cool President Sarah crying. Seeing the confused waitress, an idea suddenly struck me. The way for Sarah and me to stay together, to navigate our future hand in hand. As promised, I whispered a plan into Sarah's ear. If we pretend to be a couple, even if Emily makes a move, that's a good idea. Sarah abruptly stopped crying and put on her usual capable CEO face. That resolute expression was another reason I loved her. Later, I called Emily to a cafe for a final showdown. "I want to break up. We can go back to the way things were," I said as she barely sat down. Emily, with an overconfident demeanor, just sat down silently, and then smilingly said, "No, I'm going to marry you, Jake, so I'm not breaking up." "Is that because I'm a company executive and hold shares worth $1 million? "Yes." "Is there any other reason?" Emily blatantly admitted she was after my status and wealth. Her answer triggered me to make my decision even firmer. I can't be with someone I don't love, especially at the expense of someone who truly mattered to me. "Let's break up, Emily." "Huh? Fine, say that. I'll leak everything, though." "That's fine. Sarah and I won't be defeated by your vile tactics. Whatever happens, if we're together, we can overcome it. I'm fearless with Sarah by my side. I speak firmly, looking directly into Emily's eyes. Emily initially looked dumbfounded and then began to tremble with anger. Her face turned red with rage, and suddenly, she banged the table and stood up. "Grrr. Don't tell me I lost to her in the end. You know, there was no chance for you from the beginning. Not just for you, Emily, but for any woman. A woman as wonderful as Sarah doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. She is strong, kind, beautiful, and adorable. Anyone who can see Sarah's beautiful personality is simply blind. Just like Emily in front of me. Actually, being blind is better. I don't want more rivals." "Darn. Stop it. I don't want to listen your love story, idiot. You'll regret it later." Emily stormed off, her footsteps echoing loudly after her final retort. Few days later, Emily indeed leaked information to the tabloids, and baseless rumors stirred up the gossip-hungry public. Thanks to the company's notoriety, journalists flocked to the company premises, persistently demanding to meet the infamous love triangle executive. However, someone leaked information to the tabloids as well, and this information led to her downfall. "What is this?" Emily confronted me, clutching a freshly published tabloid. I didn't bother by her alleged accusation because I'm very thankful to the woman who broke her promise. There was a witness. The witness knew who really was a cheater here. The IT company top executive or the news anchor. Wrong information needs to be corrected. Who did that? Who knows? The popular beautiful news anchor was involved in a two-timing situation with both a company top executive and a TV director. The moment her affair was busted, she poured wine on the top executive and caused a huge scene. The waitress played a role in leaking the sensational gossip to the tabloids because she had witnessed everything. "I'll do anything I can." She expressed her willingness to coordinate with me, nodding without any hesitation when I confided in her and asked for help. She told me that she couldn't forgive the insults and the almost wine attack against Sarah, whom she respected, endured. Without hesitation, I asked her to tell a tabloid journalist exactly what she witnessed. Who's going to believe this? It's just one person's testimony. Whether they believe it or not, whether it's true or false, doesn't matter. You know it best, don't you? People just want stimulating content. I'll retract it now. I'll storm into that restaurant and find out who did this. Think you can? Look. Huh? I pointed out where journalists were already staking out Emily. They want to hear from you. It's the perfect time for a rebuttal article, right? Shut up. Hey, stop taking pictures of me without permission. Chased by reporters, Emily fled in a manner unbecoming of a news anchor. Later, tabloids published more articles exposing her lies and misdeeds, leading to a great scandal. She was suspended from the TV station and ousted from her scheduled shows. Eventually, Unable to endure the scorn surrounding her, she quietly resigned. Her current whereabouts and activities remain unknown as they are not covered in the tabloids anymore. Incidentally, amidst the scandal involving Emily, Sarah's company's stock prices soared. Facing the intrusive journalists, Sarah firmly declared my innocence, earning praises such as a model for executives and an example of a CEO protecting her employees. This only boosted her reputation even more, making her more popular and eventually affecting the market. However, at the height of her fame, Sarah announced she was leaving the company. Her plans for the France branch were indeed serious. Leaving the company to her vice president, she set out to gather a team in France. "Jake, you too. Me. Departure is tomorrow. Hurry up and get ready." Tomorrow. That's too sudden. Despite complaining, my heart was overflowing with joy. I could still be with Sarah, supporting her both as her right-hand man and as her lover. "Here's to our future together," Sarah said with a softened smile, extending her hand to me. I responded, of course, gripping her hand as we began walking together, headed for the plane bound for France. Have you realized who truly matters in your life? Those who always support you, encourage you during tough times, or simply stay by your side. I believe the ones to cherish are those who cherish you. Realizing this, she's now by my side, the person who has always cared for and valued me. The greatest joy of my life is reciprocating her feelings and cherishing her. Savoring this, I eagerly anticipate walking through life together with her.